Hey, I'm Steve Sapato, and you're listening to Speaker Talks podcast for speakers, authors, entrepreneurs, other podcasters, all kind of wonderful people who love to grow their business, love to grow their minds, and that's important. Are you interested in growing? That's what this podcast is all about. And so, if you're interested in that, I have a wonderful treat for you today. I have on Dr. Henry, and Dr. Henry used to make patients healthy. Now he works to make businesses healthy. And that's a big difference. When we talk about making patients healthy, he's a doctor of chiropractic practice, and I'll let him tell you all that stuff. It's really cool. But he worked on helping people to become more healthy. Isn't that right? Isn't that what you and I want to do? We want to maintain our health, especially these days where there's so much going on. And how would you like to make your business healthy? Do you need a couple tips? I'm doing a big workshop seminar tomorrow down here in Tampa, a live event where I'm putting on a big luncheon. People who want to attend can certainly attend. But I do that about every 2 months. And so if what you're interested in is growing your business, tune into the podcast. I always tell you, subscribe. Subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss some absolutely phenomenal speakers and presenters. And so without further ado, here comes Dr. Henry. How
Thank
are
you.
you?
I am great.
Yeah, this
Good
is
to see you.
Dr. Kelly Henry, and he's a doctor of chiropractic. And well, tell us a little bit about your story. Let's get a jump on this.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on your show, Steve. Really
Yeah.
appreciate it. Again, doctor of chiropractic. I practiced for 20 years, mainly in New Mexico. I moved there where my wife was from and thoroughly loved it. Was able to build up 2 successful clinics there in the area.
You had all the people then in New Mexico coming to you because there aren't that many people there, are there?
At one point, I tried to monopolize, but I didn't. I wasn't successful in that. So, I just love practicing chiropractic. I love people. I love just the interaction I had with them and helping them be healthier, but also helping put a smile on their face. And really, the foundation of my clinics was great customer service. And I kind of backed into it because when we first moved to New Mexico, some of the businesses I dealt with weren't exactly what I felt like should have, or they didn't provide me with the customer service that I thought they should have. And I hated it. So I said, you know what, I'm going to do something different in my clinics. And lo and behold, patients loved it, and it caught my mind.
People
mind
like
and,
customer service.
Exactly. They like being treated well.
I don't understand that.
Exactly.
Right?
It was amazing to me.
Well, what's interesting is I grew up in Davenport, Iowa, which is like one of the homes of Palmer Chiropractic. So I'm used to chiropractic. I've grown up around people who say, well, doctors of chiropractic aren't real doctors, And one of the things that make me nuts is, especially in today's world, where we went through this phase. Every I guess industry goes through a phase, but it's funny now that we went through, well, you got to have a doctor, you got to have this, you got to get all the medications, and now medications are evil things, the opioid crisis and all that, and we're going back to working with natural medicines, natural remedies. Even with the COVID thing, it was, boy, you got to have this kind of treatment. And then, of course, they found out in the first 7-8 months that they were killing people because of the big medical treatment they were giving. And they went back to the simplified stuff that's helping people. And that's what you find with doctors of chiropractic. They help you heal naturally. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump in, but I love talking about
Steve. Preach it.
So you moved from New Mexico how long ago?
3 years ago, 2018. Moved from New Mexico to the Dallas area. I sold my practices out and moved into the coaching realm. I practiced, like I said, with the foundation of great customer service, and I just saw the impact of that. I also have been coached personally and through my businesses for years. And so I saw the impact on my life and my business on that end of things. So I just meshed the two together and decided, you know what, I'm going to coach businesses on how to provide better customer service so they can grow and profit and prosper as well.
Isn't it funny that there's so many businesses out there and yet they don't get, you can talk about the big businesses and you can talk about the medium-sized businesses, but in truth, we live down here in Tampa. We've been down here about 3 years ourselves, and you hire in, we could go into all kinds of stuff as small business coaches and that kind of stuff, what we could do to help all these businesses really tremendously grow their business. But we had a yard person, and the first yard person we had came zipping through on the machines and trimmed everything and did things, but it wasn't quite the service that the wife wanted. So she was like, well, I got to find somebody else. So she asked around and found this other company, and they did okay. She was like, yeah, but they did this, but they didn't do that. And so she'd call them up and they'd go, oh yeah, blah, 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 and then they'd come the next time and didn't do what she wanted them to do. And you're like, wait a minute. And so we finally teamed up with somebody else and found this person, and now she's happy. But this person, when they're done, knocks on the door and says, please come take a look. And that's all it is. Anything you want me to finish, anything you want me to do differently. And my wife is like, this is great, right? It doesn't take much to give great customer service, does it?
It does not. That's what I preach all the time. It's not hard. It's doing the simple things, knocking on the door when you're done mowing the lawn, asking if there's anything else you can do, and make sure everything's done correctly before you move on. The simple things done consistently. That's the key to great customer service. That's the key to making your customers feel like you're there for them, not them there for you. So I love what you're saying.
Thanks. Before we go any further, you have a company, a business, a website. How do people get in touch with you?
Absolutely. Pretty easy. drkellyhenry.com. So drkellyhenry.com. You can find about me. You can find out about my book. You can find out about my programs. You can set up a call with me so we can talk a little more how I can help your business grow and prosper as well.
Oh, no. Talk to somebody?
Absolutely.
Well, you know how that works these days. People go, I don't want to talk to anybody, right? They might want to sell me something. But I'm going to back up because I'm a nutball. I'm absolutely a nutball. And there's going to be a bunch of people watching this on video, but there's going to be a bunch of people who only get it on audio. So Dr. Kelly Henry, is it Dr. Kelly Henry?
Yeah, drkellyhenry.com.
Now, and see, he thinks everybody knows how to spell Kelly. Kelley? No, Kelly. Henry, Henry. It's really important that if you're listening to this, that it's DR, not a DR period, right? It's DR, KELLYHENRY, right? .com.
Exactly.
Right? Because I got a new one. I do Speaker Talks, and if you went to, I think it's called speakertalks.events, it'll take you right to one of our events. So it's really important now with so many things at the end, whatever they might call those things. There's .com, there's .org, there's .me. I ran across one the other day who said .me. I went, the heck is .me, right? Does it go to me? No, I don't know. But those are the things that we talk about. So when you want to get a hold of Dr. Henry, one of the things that you need to do first is just, right, go to his website. Do you have a phone number on your website?
I do.
Okay.
You can scroll down the bottom. You can text me if you want, or if you want to schedule a particular call, I have a link for that where you can schedule just a 15, 20-minute call where we can just get down to business. I don't want to keep you on the phone forever. Let's just talk about what you're dealing with your business, and if what I can help you with, we can mesh those two together and again, help you grow and prosper.
And it's important that you know that most of us, I call us small entrepreneurs, because we're not the big guys who are on there to sell you something, right? Yeah, we'd love to work with you, which means, you're going to be paying us some money to help you. But what I want you to understand is we're not going to high pressure you. When you come to talk to us, we want to know that we can connect with you. I've turned away a whole bunch of people during this COVID thing because just in that 15, 20-minute conversation that I've had with people, you're like, no, we're not connecting, right? I mean, I have fun. Some people never have fun. I tell jokes, and if you don't have my jokes, you can't be my client, right? Get out. What's that all about? But it's even more than that, right? So if we don't connect, and so understand that when you call Dr. Kelly, that it's important that you know that he's not out to sell you anything. We're there to help you. H-E-L-P, help, right? And that's important because, especially, I tell people all the time, doctor, is that I can help people with a 30-minute phone call. I can give you one idea that if you implement that one idea, it will change what you're doing. Like tomorrow's talk, I get 20 minutes to talk before the main speaker. And my talk tomorrow is how I can teach people how to create their networking pitch to 4 times their results. Whatever they're after in their networking, their business networking. How would you like to quadruple your results? And people go, well, how do you do that? I go, just call me, right? Let's talk. And if I can give you one idea that would help you quadruple something, would that make a difference in your business? And that's what Dr. Henry wants to be able to do too. So tell us a little bit about what you do, would you, Doctor?
Well, I help businesses improve their customer service. And really the key is we're improving customer service. We're improving that perception of great customer service for a business, with a business, basically to increase retention rates of customers, keeping more customers in their business. So many businesses get focused on just getting more customers, marketing for more customers, but they do very little to keep those customers in their business. But that's where true growth and profitability comes from. It's not the customers you get, it's not the customers you acquire, it's those customers you keep, or patients you keep, or clients you keep, that really make the biggest difference. That's what my programs are about. And we don't look at the whole of customer service, because there's a million things you could do. And they're all important, don't get me wrong. What I do is I focus on just the key components, the things that customers really want. I help a business get really good at doing the things that the customers really value from a customer service standpoint from those business. And that's what stimulates and increases those retention rates, which obviously exponentially grows profits and increases growth.
Yeah, you know what's interesting is so many people you're just like when I'm doing my networking thing. Boy, how could if you could 4 times the number of people you get to talk to, how many more businesses would you close? How many more clients would you close? Right? What would your business look like if you closed 4 times as many people? But let's back up. If you're into any kind of a business that works about retention, right? So I keep my clients, 6 months, 12 months. What's the average length you keep a client is the question. If you have what's the maximum length? So here, Dr. Henry and I talk about coaching. If I could be your coach for the next 10 years, and yet I'm only keeping people for 6 weeks, right? What am I not knowing? What am I not doing that should keep them for 1, 2, 3, 5 years, maybe 10, so that I can help them with all of their business needs? And so whatever you're doing, whether it's lawn service or whether it's dental care, when we talk about retention, how much does it cost you to get one new client versus keeping an old client? Do you have any of that dollar number in your head, Dr. Kelly?
Well, not exact dollars, but it's 5 to 25 times more expensive to acquire new customers than it is to keep those existing customers in your business.
Crazy.
5
5
to
times.
25 times more. And so many businesses just
Whoa.
do not see that. So
Yeah. So how many people here are wealthy? If you're listening, are you wealthy now? Because then you can throw away 25 times as much. Matter of fact, call me up. I'll help you spend 25 times as much to get new clients. I would love that. That probably helped me make my day. Uh, but that's what it's all about, isn't it? And
it is.
and the question is then, Dr. Kelly, what do you call good customer service?
That's a great question. My simple definition is a relentless focus on the customer each and every time they interact with your business, to make that customer feel their best anytime they are doing business with you. The focus is on the customer and making them feel their best, making them feel important, special, liked, like a rock star every time they're dealing with your business.
You know what's crazy is I'm writing my new book, and it's called Shut Up and Succeed, right? And in it, I talk about what's the number one thing you need to know about doing your business. And my answer always is people don't care about you. People don't care about you. People are always self-absorbed. When you meet a boring speaker, I run a whole course on stop boring speakers. Run a whole course, and it's always what makes someone boring. Usually, it's when they talk about themselves, they tell stories about themselves, they talk about their business. So when I'm talking about business networking, one of the things I ask is, you understand that people don't care about you? And people always go, yeah. And if you've got a network, an elevator pitch, right? And I go, so you understand that people don't care about you or your business. They just want to know that you care enough. Well, how's that saying go? People don't know how much you care until they care how much you know, right? And so if you understand that, what's your elevator pitch sound like? And people go, well, I'm Steve Sapato. I've been with XYZ Corporation, and XYZ Corporation is this, 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 and this. And then, and I, as Steve Sapato, will take good care of you because I can give you this. I go, so tell me, if you just gave me that elevator pitch, how's that about those people? And people go, what do you mean? I go, well, you just told me about you. And if we know people don't care about you, why are you talking about yourself? Isn't that it? And isn't that it for customer service? If when I teach and we touch on the same things, he's more of the expert on customer service. I touch on it. But when we teach a business, how do you send your salespeople in? The salespeople should only be asking questions about the people they're touching base with, their client. Only ask questions, only reach in and go, hey, how can we help you? How can we make it better? What do you need? What can I help you with? How does this happen? You know, question, so that you can answer their questions. And I've had so many salespeople walk in the door here and they're like, well, our company's been around for 35 years, you know, we do this and I don't care about your company. I want to know what you can do for me. Right. And they'll spend 15 minutes in your kitchen talking about themselves. And you're like, you missed it. Right. Isn't that how that works, Dr. Kelly?
It is. It's, you know, the common or the kind of the new phrasing for customer service is customer experience. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know, we want to create a good experience, but you create that good experience by serving. That's why I tend to use the term customer service. And serving somebody is putting them first, getting to know them first, asking questions about them, everything you just talked about. It's not about me. It's about them. How can I help them? How can I serve them? What can I do to make their day better, make them feel valued? That's the whole ball of wax as far as customer service.
You know, the key, a lot of things that we talk about. I've got when we were doing live networking, probably right when we moved into the house here, I joined some networking groups and I met an electrical and air conditioning company. And I really liked the guy who was, you know, he was the owner of the company. He came to our networking group. And so Manny and I struck up this wonderful relationship and we had connectivity for about 6 months. And then he left or I left. I'm not sure what happened, but we moved on. But I used his service. So he had in his air conditioning thing down here in Florida, it's really important that you get your air conditioning checked and cleaned about every 6 months. And he said, for this much money, I can do that every 6 months. And I went, just do it. That'd be great. And you know what? It's been 2 years, 2.5 years. And I don't think I've ever gotten a phone call except they're coming to say, hey, we're coming to do your event or your tubes or whatever that might be. And I go, okay. Now they don't charge you because you already paid that. But they never call you up to say, how's your air conditioning, right? How's the temperature in your house? Do you need anything else? And I know they changed to electrical, and I didn't call them up for electrical when I had a problem. Why? Because they weren't top of mind. They weren't reaching out to give me great customer service just by touching base. A postcard every month, right? A phone call every month or every quarter to say, hey, Steve, we haven't talked in 2 months. Now, it doesn't have to be from him. It can be their people. They get to know me, right? Barb, what she says, hi, Steve, you didn't talk to me last time. I'm new on the desk. Hey, calling because blah, blah, blah. You know, what can we do for you? And you just go, oh, that feels good, right? But if there's no customer service, and customer service means contact, right?
Absolutely. So you have to keep constant contact, but the increasing retention rate, for me as a chiropractor, my retention rate was seeing a patient, through their treatment plan, maybe several times a week or whatever the case may be, depending on the condition, or, once a month or once every 6 months, whatever the case may be. So it was a little more constant, for air conditioning, you're going to extend that out. But again, you want to maintain that retention rate, whatever it is, but you also have to stay in contact, like you said, for, keeping top of mind. There's a couple of businesses that I'm pretty sure everyone, all the listeners will know by the name of Coca-Cola and McDonald's. Everybody knows those two companies. And there's a reason that you see advertising from them all the time.
All the time.
Exactly. It's to stay top of mind. We know Coke, we know McDonald's. You drive down the street, you can't drive 10 minutes in pretty much any town in the USA and not drive past a McDonald's. But yet they are constantly on your television. So there's a reason for that. It's to keep them top of mind. So you will continue, not because you don't know them, it's so you'll, trigger that and I'll go see them.
Yeah. You know what's, my wife and I talk, because I'm probably like you, doctor, I'm constantly talking about what I know and what I love, which is, why aren't they doing this? How come they're? I go back to when I was young, there was a company called Volvo Car Company. Everybody says, oh yeah, Volvo. I go, in my day, right, in the heyday then, everything that Volvo did was about, we're the safest car on the road. You want safety, you want to protect your family, you want to protect your children, Volvo. You buy a Volvo. And they were expensive, right? Now, I'm sure they're still expensive, but I don't hear that. I haven't heard in 10 or 15 years that Volvo is the safe car company. And I wonder, why did they let that go? How did that slip away from them? And you can do that with all kinds of companies where they were this company and then they let it slip away. What their motto was, what they did, what they do, what they stood for, and then it just disappears. And you go, well, like you say, McDonald's doesn't do that. McDonald's says, I have the cheapest hamburger in the country, right? Come buy more. Because they don't McDonald's doesn't sell burgers, do they?
No,
McDonald's sells customer service. And you say, well, what does that mean, Steve? If you look at their sign, it says billions
sure.
served, not
They
not bi- not great hamburgers served.
no. They sell convenience is what it is. It's not the greatest food in the world, but hey, when mom's running late and she's been working all day, and dad just got home, and hey, you can swing by and grab a burger and feed the family, and not have to slave over an oven. Well, there, McDonald's fits the bill for that.
Yeah. And who's the most profitable uh, fast food uh, fast food restaurant, I'll say, in the United States? Do you know?
I believe it's Chick-fil-A,
Chick-fil-A.
and there's
Why?
imagine this. It goes back down to customer service. So
Oh, isn't that crazy?
it's they are amazing at their customer service, where they can train a bunch of 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds to put a smile on their face and say my pleasure, and make you feel like you're a incredible VIP when you walk in one of their restaurants from buying a chicken sandwich from you. They're
Yeah.
doing something right. So something to note on how to do things from Chick-fil-A.
That's right. You guys want to be profitable? You need to talk to Dr. Kelly, and that's um, again, Chick-fil-A isn't the biggest by a long ways, but Chick-fil-A is the most. Every Chick-fil-A restaurant is the most profitable. If you were to own one franchise, that's the one you should own. Now you can't get one because they're like 10,000 people backed up on their application, and they're so picky. It's like, oh, you burped when you were 12, get out. You can't have our franchise. But whatever their criteria is, they are the most profitable, and they got there with great customer service. So, Dr. Kelly, how do they get a hold of you again?
Again, go to drkellyhenry.com, drkellyhenry.com. And again, you can find out all kinds of good stuff about me, and learn how I can help you out.
Now, let me ask you a question, because I'm kind of a nutball on this too. Do you give something away on your website?
Well, I have links to my books. So, and then to be honest with you, depending on when this podcast comes out, I have the top 5 actions a business can take to improve their customer service, and that is being built out. It should be on the website this week, so you can look for that by all means.
Yeah, we're about 2 weeks out on this being put
Okay.
out. But
It'll be
so
there by the time this comes out then. So, but yes, top 5
vital.
actions to immediately improve your customer service. And they're simple stuff that you've seen before, stuff that you just to put out of the back of your mind. But again, just put it right at the top of your mind. Simple things that don't take any training. You can implement immediately and start improving that level of customer service in your business.
Now, what's interesting about that is he said, this is not new to you. Basically, that's what he said. These 5 things are not new to you. What they are is stuff we've forgotten, right? It's important that you know that you forgot how to give great customer service. I mean, and now there's going to be a lot of people out there going, oh, no, I give great customer service. I dare you to go to Dr. Kelly's site, click on the button, and get his 5 tips to great customer service, and then see what you say in your head. Because that's what, when I tell you, when it comes to business networking, and everybody's supposed to know that everybody thinks they're the most important person in any room. That's how it works. And yet we will walk in, and how many years have you been giving your elevator pitch that is completely wrong because it talks about your business and you? You want to know how to fix that? You call me. I can teach you how to make an elevator pitch that will absolutely energize your business, because you can't talk about those people. You can't talk about yourself, I mean, and what you do, right? People go, well, I'm a realtor, and my realtor company has been around for 450 years. And I give the best customer service of any real estate professional. Don't you think every real estate professional says that? Every single one.
And the
And
ones
so
that say that generally don't give great customer service.
that's probably true, and that's tough because you just have to know that you know stuff. You know how to give great customer service. Probably, if you're in business, you've probably forgotten, or you don't keep track. Is it important that they somehow keep track of what they're doing so they can keep control that customer service? Ugh.
Absolutely. And I agree. So many businesses think they provide great customer service. The statistics say otherwise. Where if you were to survey the customers of those business, they're like, no, this is not that great a customer service. I
No.
only continue to do business with them because they're convenient a lot of times. It's like, I'll deal with it just for the convenience of it. But most businesses, really the statistics show it's about 80% of businesses provide at best average levels of customer service, and then it just goes down from there. So again, it's sometimes it's just taking the blinders off, that instead of thinking, yeah, maybe I don't provide great customer service. Where are there some holes? Where are there some things that I can do better that would, again, immediately improve my customer service and increase that perception of great customer service, where I can start keeping more customers. It can be that simple.
So let me. I go back to. I'm old, and I go back a long ways. I used to share a stage with Zig Ziglar, right? And I say
Love it.
I say share loosely, because it was like I think I was climbing the steps when he was. But he said something that has always stuck with me in terms of he had a deal there, and he said, I want everybody in the audience right now to pick up your phone and call your receptionist, right? In other words, don't call the office phone number that's on your desk. I want you to call like you're calling into your company, and see if you know what your company does by how the receptionist answers the phone. And, if you've ever done that, if you've ever been with somebody who did that, most of the time the receptionist speaks so fast that you can't understand them. They supposedly give you their name, which you don't understand. And they certainly don't convey confidence in their business. And that is part of customer service. You have to
Or
be, go ahead.
or friendliness either. So, monotone, running through a script as quickly as they can to, try to get that person off the phone as quickly as they can.
Yeah.
That can be, if that's the first line of communication for a potential customer, what does that say for your business? That can be a huge gap, a huge gaping problem for a lot of businesses, what you're describing right there.
Absolutely. And by the same token, I've had friends over the years, when you coach them, like one guy was a solar person. He did solar panels and that kind of stuff. Another guy was an electrician, right? And I remember I said that, so you're a solopreneur. He says, yeah, my wife works part-time with me, and I've got somebody else who works part-time if I need them. I said, okay, so how do you take phone calls? So you've got a hotline. And he goes, yeah, so if somebody needs something right away, they call me directly. And I went, okay. And if you're in your zone, if you're working for somebody, do you answer the phone every time? He goes, oh no, you can't all the time because you're going to be busy. I went, so what happens to those people when they call in? He goes, well, they go to my answering machine. I go, let's call your answering machine right now. And again, he's not a professional speaker. He's not a corporate trainer. He's an electrician. And so his answering machine went something like, hi, this is Bob's Electrical. Please leave your message. Click. Really? That's your emergency hotline type thing, right? And so it cost him, and we looked it up, and I'll make this up because I don't remember, but like $30 a month to get somebody to answer the phone, right? So it's a service or something that when that phone, they answer it with, hey, Bob's Electrical, how might we be able to serve you, and what are your needs right now?
Absolutely.
Quality answering. And so when we talk about customer service, it is from beginning to end. If they get the feeling of quality from you when they call in, and then you give them the quality they're looking for, boy, they're more likely to stay with you. Isn't that right, doctor?
It increases that retention rate by a lot, just from a few simple factors. So just being, like you mentioned with the answer machine, just that's part of being convenient. and not having to leave a message. Or if you're leaving a message, you're leaving it with a person on the other side of the phone with the perception that they're going to relay the message and they're going to get back to you as soon as possible. People love fast, you
Yeah,
know.
they do.
I call that gentleman the solar panel. I want a quote. I want some answers fast. So if I have to leave just a generic message on his voicemail, there's no telling when he's going to get back to me. I don't know if he's going to call me back today or tomorrow or what the case may be. So what am I generally going to do? Well, I'm going to go Google somebody else and give them a call and see if they'll answer quicker. So speed is of the essence in the customer service world too.
And when we talk about customer service, we want you to understand that we're talking about a real general package that we offer, that you should be offering. And we just talked to we had somebody recommend a tax person for us, an accountant guy, and we called and didn't get them, and they said, well, hey, go to our website and book a time. So we went to the website, right? That's not unusual. Booked the time for them to call us back. Waited the next day. That time came and went. Right? Why would this firm up that, if you can't call, have somebody else call and say, hey, Steve's busy. He'll call you back. When would be another good time? But don't just, we're out there going, well, we're waiting. So what now? Right? So we reached back out because somebody had recommended him and got a hold of somebody this time and said, hey, we had an appointment. They went, oh, they'll call you right back. And 20 minutes later, this person called back. But here's how that conversation went. It went, hey, hey, I saw that you had a conversation. Sorry, I missed that call, but oh, wait, my wife's on the phone. I got to let you go. I'll call you back. Boom, hangs up the phone. I'm like, what? His wife's on the phone. What? And honest, he called us back 2 minutes later, maybe a minute later, and said, hey, this is Ed, from Ed's service, and I don't have things set up yet. I'm going to call you right back. Boom, he hung up. He did that 4 times before he finally spent time on the phone with us. And then it wasn't a great conversation because he spent the whole time talking rather than asking us why we called, what we needed, how he might be able to help us. So when we put the package together, we want to help you be hugely successful. We want you to know how other people might be feeling when they talk to you. If you can't call us back and spend 5-10 minutes with us right now, call back and apologize. Say, hey, I'm sorry. Let's make it another time. Could we all understand things get crazy sometimes? But don't make it seem like you're just absolutely frazzled and at your wit's end and you don't know what you're doing, because then we probably lose a lot of confidence in you. We're probably going to, like Dr. Kelly said, we're going to go down the road and find the other person, right, Doctor?
Absolutely. And it's really it's more important now than ever to start ramping up your level of customer service. But like you just mentioned, those simple things like that, you lose confidence. If you don't have confidence in a business, then there's nothing, to be honest with you. So, and the statistics show that it takes 12 great interactions to make up for one lousy interaction. The problem is, depending on how lousy that bad interaction is, you probably won't have, the opportunity to make up the 12 other, to make up for the good 12 interactions. So it's just those little things that we have to understand. It goes back to, and this is a quote from Zig Ziglar, my favorite quote. He said, you can have everything in your life you want if you'll help enough others get what they want. So you have to look at others, what they want, how they want to be treated, and then treat them that way. And that goes a long ways, not only in the business world, that goes a long ways in our lives and our relationships as well, outside of just being in business and trying to grow a business and create some profits.
It's vital too that you guys understand that when Dr. Kelly says he wants to help you with your customer service, that he has excellent skills in not only discovering what isn't working, but helping you even improve the things that are working, because we can all get better. That's the one thing I tell people all the time. I teach people how to be professional speakers, corporate speakers, how to be my website, Stop Boring Speakers, is all about teaching corporate managers how not to be boring in a meeting, because what's the 4 most hated words in any company or organization? Time for the meeting. because they're so boring, right? And so when I tell people I help them with that, it's a skill we're developing, and every area of your business needs better customer service. So when you think customer service, most of us think, oh, right to the customer. But customer service is also between people, isn't it, Dr. Kelly?
It is, and it's especially between people, the internal customers, meaning the employees and the management or the owners. That's a vital key piece that I often have to address with businesses is you have to treat and value your employees as much and treat them as good, if not better, than they treat your customers.
Absolutely.
Because it's impossible to think that you can treat your employees one way and crack a whip and rule with an iron fist, but expect them to turn around and provide stellar service in a friendly manner. It just doesn't work that way. So that's really key number one right there is how are you treating your employees, your internal customers? Because if that's not right, then you can put whatever actions into play that you want as far as providing better service, but you're really going to undermine them because the employees aren't valued and don't feel as important as they really should be working for you.
And it's vital. I run a blog called Great Managers Are Made, Not Born. And that's part of what this whole process is. I don't care where you started, where you ended. You have to have people feel valued, whether they're your employees, whether they're your coworkers, whether they're your boss. You got to make your boss feel valued. And then we all have to make our customers feel valued. If they feel valued, they're still going to be loyal. People always ask me, they go, well, what should I like when I teach new speakers, Dr. Kelly? They say, well, what do I charge? I go, well, how much value are you bringing? And they're like, what? Right? What does that mean? And you go, well, that's what you have to understand is what value are you bringing? And that's hard for people to start and figure out, but that's what you got to have to do in everything you're doing with working with people inside your office. What value do you bring when you give them or make them feel valued, right? It's invaluable, and that's how you keep people. I've had people ask me, Steve, I've got another speaker who charges this much, a lot less than me. And I go, then you have to give more value. It's not that we want to be the cheapest. We want to be the right price for us and offer the best value to our customers or clients, right?
Absolutely. What's unique about providing better customer service and really tying into that idea? Well, there's two things actually. One is the businesses that maybe have a mediocre product or service, which, I'm not advocating that. You should always improve and have the best product, provide the best service. But if they provide great customer service, stellar customer service, they're more likely to succeed than the businesses that have a phenomenal service or a phenomenal product that provide average or below customer service. So that's something to think about there. The other thing is when customer service enhances everything else in a business. It just adds to and improves everything else, whether it's the marketing or the sales department or the human resources or like I just mentioned about the employee and the interaction with employees and how they're feeling, to the retention, to the whole process. So we're not talking a department, we're talking a philosophy, we're talking a foundation, we're talking a culture that customer service really needs to be laid for a business. That just creates a whole different atmosphere for the better and everybody that is involved in a business.
Yeah, and so ask yourself this if you're listening into this: have you ever worked for a company that had great corporate culture? Have you worked for them, and did you really love it? Now, you might not have stayed for lots of different reasons. Most of the time, it's just money, right? But the number one turnover of any business right now is because of poor management, right? People don't feel valued. So it's really important that you understand that what Dr. Kelly offers is.
That's the same reason a customer will leave as well. That's the number one reason customers, employees will leave a business, is because they do not feel valued.
Isn't that crazy? How can that be? Because if I'm selling you something, I should be making sure all the time that you feel that it's the best product, or we're giving you the best service or whatever. So what happened? What breaks it down? We don't have time to get into how it breaks down right now unless you got a quickie. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Very simple. Businesses get stuck in being sales and transaction minded. That's all they're trying to do is make that next sale, make that next transaction, instead of being service minded and relationship minded. When you serve more, when you serve better, you're actually going to profit more and make more sales. But they get stuck in just sales and profits and just running through that, and that's where they lose valuing the patient, the client, the customer.
Sell, sell, sell. Isn't that what? It's just go out and sell, right? Just bring me the results. I have to admit, the one of the thing I talk about is I was brought into the sales world by IBM. Right out of college, IBM put me on, and I didn't stay with IBM, but like 2.5 years. And the reason was because everything about it was sell, right? It wasn't how did the customer feel. It wasn't check back and let's make sure everything's working. It was sell. Steve, you get out there and sell, and it doesn't matter whether you make them mad. It doesn't matter whether you offend them. It's did you make the sale? And I was like, that's not a philosophy I enjoyed. Now that was back when IBM did typewriters and magnetic keyboards and copiers, so that was a few decades ago.
You're dating yourself now.
Oh, I tried dating myself. It was boring. Yeah. But but it was, it was sell, sell, sell. And I know lots of organizations that are sell. Another company I was working for where the service person came and I said, how's things going? And he went, not great. I went, how come? He goes, they're expecting us to sell you this. So whatever he was working on, he said, so I can fix this. I can, come back with a part and fix this. But what they really want me to do is sell you the next level upgrade. He said, I'm not comfortable with that. I don't like doing that. And so they were trying to transition their people into selling the next step up of whatever it might be, as opposed to doing the job of fixing and repairing. And he was probably not going to stay with the company because they had changed their philosophy from what he was hired on to do. So, all right.
Many
So
businesses suffer with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're 40 minutes in. I told Dr. Kelly that I'd have him on for about 35, so we're over that. Right. So, if there's anything you need, Dr. Kelly, how do they get a hold of you?
Again, drkellyhenry.com, drkellyhenry.com. Go there, find out about me, my program, set up a call if you'd like. My book is on that website, Define and Deliver Exceptional Customer Service. It's basically a customer service manual. It's a simple read, an easy read. It's full of simple ideas, actions, and principles that a business can take hold of immediately, start building that better customer service to help grow and prosper their business. So you can find that link. Again, drkellyhenry.com, drkellyhenry.com.
Cool. And I always tell people, as long as we're recording, I always say, and my book is free for the next 10 minutes. Oh, sorry, you missed it. But yeah, I'm Steve Sapato, and you've been listening to Speaker Talks podcast for speakers, authors, and entrepreneurs. You can also find me on the Happiness Agenda. And if you're looking to become a speaker, just go to stopboringspeakers.com or stevesapatoseminars.com. And look me up if you like what we're doing here. Certainly subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we'd love to have you join us every week when we talk about wonderful business things and give you great business ideas, tips, information that will help you. And every guest we have has something that they can help you improve your life and your business with. And that's why we're here. We want you to be more successful than you ever dreamed possible. Hope you're having a blessed day. This is 2021, the Speaker Talks podcast. God bless.